call the Tuesday, May 28, 2019 regular meeting of council to order. Item 2.1, adoption of the May 28th regular meeting of council's agenda. Take your pick.
We'll take turns.
Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, are there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. It's time for public comment on things regarding an item on the current agenda to be put forth and not be normally dealt with by village staff, addressed through the chair and given likewise. Debates are not allowed during this session. No commitments will be made by council in replying to a question, and if they do require action, they will be tabled to a future meeting. Bylaws, temporary use permits, etc. that have been considered at a public hearing but have not yet received final approval shall not be raised during this time. Individuals must state their name and area of residence for identification purposes, and I will use that handy dandy timer, as you will be limited to 2 minutes upon welcome. Are there any public comments this evening?
Eugene Jamin, resident of Valemount.
Welcome.
Welcome to you as well. We have tonight the Valemount Community Sports Day Association request to apply for additional CBT funding. I would like to note that the committee did not have access to verify the validity of the amounts that they were given.
Can you specify which committee?
I believe that the quotes were given by the village to the Sports Day Committee.
Oh, to this, okay, thank you.
And that they had no way of verifying whether they were accurate or not. And that it's after the fact that it's come about that there was an amount forgotten. And I would like that to be taken into account that it was not the negligence of the committee that caused the discrepancy.
Thank you. Other public comments? Yes.
I'm Rashmi Narayan, and I live in Vilma. And my comment is also about the Sports Day Association correspondence or request. My suggestion is that they be given the additional funds, or the council directly, or whether it's the council directly or the CBD committee directly, through the community initiatives committee, let them look at their request. Instead of reopening the whole process, I wasn't sure what is meant by this, whether reopen the process, is it open to everyone or not, but at this point I feel one, in the public ranking as well as the committee ranking, it had ranked really at the top it had got a lot of votes both from the committee and the public, and I see that they should be given the additional requests, or at least council or the committee directly should entertain the additional requests for the reasons you mentioned earlier. Thank you.
Thank you. Further public comment? Yes.
Your Worship, Michael Peters, live in the Regional District.
Welcome.
I'm here, but in the Regional District. The Village of Valemount recently received a letter from the province with the Village of Valemount Air Zone report outlining the air quality from 2015 to 2017 and showing once again that Valemount has the worst air quality in the province. I'm wondering what action is going to be taken from the village point of view. We've had this ever since I've been in Valemount, and the statistics have been available. We've been ranked right at the top, and that's not where you want to be in this particular category. So I'm hopeful that this letter will spur some action from the village in terms of finally getting down to business and seeing what can be done in terms of remedying this air quality, this poor air quality in the area. I know that the village has taken some steps, and they have been working on it, and they have struck a committee, but I think it's time for some concrete action now, the time for talk. Unfortunately, it's over. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Hearing none, seeing none. Motion please to receive the comments. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G. All in favor of receipt? Carried. Item 4.1, adoption of the minutes of the November 29, 2018 Committee of the Whole meeting. Councillor G, Councillor Pearson, are there any errors or omissions from that time machine? Hearing none, all in favor? Adoption. Adoption of the minutes of the March 4th, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, any errors or omissions there? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. And that, please, and the adoption of the regular meeting of Council, May 14, 2019. The minutes there, Councillor G, Councillor Pearson. Any errors or omissions from the meeting earlier this month? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. We have a delegation before us electronically with the Voyant alert system for a community notification service.
Okay.
A Mr. Brian McKinney. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you very much for having me.
The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me okay?
Are you okay, Pete?
You're going to have to speak up a little bit, Brian.
Okay, how's that? Any better?
Much better,
Much better, thank you.
Okay, not a problem. Well, first of all, thank you all very much for your time today. I certainly appreciate it. So I thought what I'd do is I'm going to run through 3 or 4 slides to introduce the Voyant alert notification service to you, and then run a 2 or 3 minute demo if that's okay.
That's just fine, thank you.
Great. So, Voyant alert, the product's been around for about 1.5 years now. And it's engineered as a multi-purpose notification service. And when we did the development of it, we really targeted for small to medium-sized communities. So our smallest community that we're servicing these days is about 300 persons in size. And we go up to about 100,000 people on the top end. The sweet spot of where we're servicing is kind of in those communities that are in the 3,000 to 12,000 person range. We engineered it to be used both for critical incident alerting to the community as well as day-to-day communication. And, it either has with it now or is going to be having, as part of the roadmap, the ability to kind of pull the users, the end recipients. So do they need assistance or not? We have some 311 functionality coming on board, as well as some lone worker, and the product currently supports team communications as well. When we designed the product and developed it, we did so based on the feedback from 60 some odd communities that we communicated with prior to starting the development. And they, the feedback we got was they wanted something that went a little bit further than the traditional alerting system, which was much more text-based in nature. So if what we wanted to deliver was something that was more enriched and personalized. So if you look at the solution on the left, and if you've received in the last couple of months any of the alerts from the VC alerting system or the federal system, you probably recognize that. The alerts tend to be in a text-based format and fairly generic in nature. So while they do a very good job at getting that first notification out the door and waking people up, it's easy to kind of overlook that alert. It doesn't really grab your attention. We felt, on the other hand, that if we could put a person into the picture and show them on a graph where they were relative to a fire or a train derailment or a gas leak, and then provide them with very specific information to their circumstance. Here's your evacuation route. That people would be more inclined to follow those instructions. So basically, we believe that the picture on the right is going to be more engaging than the picture on the left, if that makes sense. The system, as you'll see, supports critical incident notification, so everything from fire and train derailment and biohazard, chemical spills, but also day-to-day communication. So everything like snow removal, fire tents, to community engagement. in terms of what's going on in and around the community now. When we go to communicate with folks, we do so by email, text, we have mobile applications that run on the phone, text and landline, and we also support social media interactions as well. So that's kind of a little bit of the background. If you're good with it, or if you have any questions, I can answer them now. Otherwise, we can jump straight into a quick demo for you.
Questions from council? Please, go ahead, Councillor Pearson.
One quick question only that I'm not familiar. 311, what service is 311?
Yeah, so with the 311, and first of all, this is optional. It's going to be available probably in the August-September timeframe. What it allows is it allows your end users, your community members, to take a photo of a problem site. Maybe it's graffiti, maybe it's a down sign, and then submit it into the administration with the tag on it, so that the folks kind of know exactly where that incident is located, and then can dispatch maintenance workers to that. Once it's resolved, then the message goes back to the originator that the problem has been resolved. To be honest, we have some communities that are very keen on having it, and we have others that are less so. So it's certainly an optional rollout in terms of how you approach it.
So it would be the pothole reporting line then?
That's my number.
Yeah. And, part of the rationale behind that is we had this request originated from the RCMP and the Prairie provinces. They wanted something very similar where we could engage with richer media as part of the community input, primarily for their rural crime watch application. And so that was kind of the origins of where some of that originated from.
Further questions from council? Please proceed, Brian.
Thank you. So I'm just going to jump into a browser here. And we have two tabs that we run here. So this is a web-based service that you interact with. And I'm going to show you the administration panel, which is this one here. And we're going to send out an alert. Before I do that, I thought I'd show you very quickly how easy it is to register for the system. And this is something we spent a lot of time and effort on. We felt it was important that the registration should be anonymous in nature and very quick and easy to do and easy to use. So as a normal person here would register, basically we would steer them to a web page for doing registration for text-based or email or voice alerting, or to the app stores for a mobile app. But all we really need here to register is a postal code. So if I were to enter B0E2Z0, which I believe is a postal code.
It is.
Okay, and we'll hit return. What happens is the first thing that comes up is there's a welcome page that you have control over. Do you want to subscribe to notifications? And we'll say yes here. And then how would you like to receive those notifications? So text message, email, phone call, or you can get your mobile app on the different app stores. For the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to do the text-based message. And did one of you have a smartphone number that I can use to send an alert to?
Councillor Pearson?
Thank you. I'll delete this right at the end as well. So we have the consent. We hit the next button. So now instead of using passwords, we use a 4-digit code that will be texted to your phone. If you could read me that 4-digit code back when you get it.
6753.
753.
Correct.
Then we hit login. And basically that's it. As an end user, that's all you have to do. You're done and you're registered. So unlike some of the other systems where there's maybe 4 or 5 pages of forms, this is really all you need to do. If you want to personalize it more, you can go into the My Locations button. And what we do here is we basically drop your pin in the middle of the postal code, and then you can just drag and drop it to wherever you want. And if you had a secondary location that you wanted to track, maybe it's your child's daycare, you just click, hold, and release. And and then we can just label this one here as daycare location. And so now we're tracking 2 locations in town. So very, very simple from an end user perspective. If we want to send out an alert, which is what we're doing right now, we go into our administration console. We have a bunch of different options here, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to jump into the alert panel. And we have a bunch of prescribed templates that we can do, so fires or gas leaks or train derailments or something more mundane like changes to swim lessons for traps. But if we go in and we want to add a new alert, what we would do here now is maybe just try to emulate a commercial fire structure or structure fire in town. And I'm just going to place it kind of down here in the lower part of town. So what we have here is an alert that's placed in a given location. We have a couple of different zones. We have a red zone, which maybe people are, that's where the fire is. We want people to evacuate. And so they would get a message that would read something like, be advised, fire and rescue responding to a commercial fire near your location, rapidly evolving, evacuate to safe distance immediately. We use geofencing, and so in the yellow zone, which is maybe a little bit bigger, and maybe what we want to do is make it so we make sure we get those locations a little bit bigger yet. In terms of, I think that was probably good as covered. It'll send out a different piece of information, and so we'll go ahead now and we'll send that out now. So we're going to activate it, and what you can see is it's going to go out now. This message is going to go out, and it'll touch one text number, one email account, and kind of 4 Android apps that are going out here. And we have it as this is a test, no action required. But if we were to activate that now, that little countdown clock, so if you're familiar with the inbound missiles to Hawaii, we have a bunch of different safety nets to kind of protect that. But hopefully your phone is alerting.
Okay.
Yeah, did you get an alert? Or?
Standard text message, Village of Valemount test alert.
Good. Okay, so if you see the bottom of that text field, what you're going to see there is you're going to see a link, and if you press that link, it should open your mobile browser and bring you to this alert window here. And so what it's going to say is, please be advised, Village of Valemount Fire and Rescue are responding to a commercial fire located 364 meters to the east-southeast of your home location. So what we do is we personalize everything relative to the location pin that we deem to be a greatest risk. So in this case, your home location is closer to the fire than your daycare point is. So we kind of give you some very detailed information and show you on the map, giving you more context so you know exactly what area to avoid or which direction to head.
Okay.
Okay, so that's just a quick example. I know we're short on time, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a flavor of what we're doing and how we're doing it, how we're a little bit different than some of the other solutions that may be out there. Any questions?
Questions of council? At this point?
At this time, no.
You're satisfied with the delegation? Yeah, please proceed, Brian.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay.
I can show you some more different alerts if you want, but I was very conscious trying to keep it to the 10 minutes or less.
Council, what's your pleasure? You want another notification, or are you satisfied with the delegation?
I'm happy with that. I was a little worried how close to my actual home he was getting.
Easily tracked.
Yes,
Be careful too with these tents. We don't like to, we're on a test environment here that you have access to. The production one is totally isolated from the one we do our training on.
So one quick question, Brian. If a person downloaded the app on their phone, would it go right straight to a browser view, or would it be the same?
Yeah, it goes straight to kind of a browser view on the mobile app.
Okay.
So the mobile app is certainly the most superior of the different ways to interact with the service. It's faster, it's richer. The only reason I really use the text method here is that I can show it to you kind of on the screen, which is a little bit more of a challenge when it's in the mobile app view.
Right.
Granted. Councillor G, any questions, comments?
It's great. I think it's great.
Right on.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. Motion, please, to receive the delegation. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G. Any comments on the delegation itself?
Oh, great presentation.
Awesome. Okay. All in favor of receipt? Item 6.
Say goodbye to Brian.
Goodbye, Brian.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, Brian.
Item 6.1. Valemount Community Sports Day Association request to apply for additional CBT funding. There's 2 recommendations here. What is council's pleasure? There's either or recommendation, but I will take something from council. Councillor G?
I would move for the first recommendation that we reopen the program.
To complete the project?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, is there a seconder?
I'll second and continue in discussion, I guess.
It is open for discussion.
My concerns are, again, that we are setting precedent for next year's candidates. Somebody doesn't have enough money. And quite frankly, this motion is very unclear. If we're opening the process, are we opening the full CBT application process? This doesn't specify that it's for one item. I'd be very concerned that we're opening the door for anyone to apply, because it's saying we have to go through the full application and adjudication procedure.
It is saying that we reopen it for the Valemount Community Sports Day Association request. So maybe add only. We're not opening it for new applications, just this specific request.
I mean, I still have concerns.
I think even if we set a precedent, that doesn't mean that we're held to that precedent in future years if something like this comes up again.
My take on it is...
Council, just so we can have decorum and have hands and so we can track
Mr. Mayor,
things.
through the mayor. The other concern I have on this issue is even if they get this money, this work will not be done this year. They only have 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Councillor G?
I'm not sure what you mean. It doesn't, the work was never meant to be done before the Valemount Days Festival. They still have the whole rest of the year to complete the
Well,
work.
their original intent was for this year because of the condition of the premises. But I don't know, it's another one of those where we're opening the door to precedent, and if somebody falls short next year, we reopen it for them as well, so that's my concern.
Any further comments on the motion that's before us? Hearing none, all in favor? It is carried. Reading file, does anybody have anything they want to pull out of the reading file? Councillor Pearson?
I just would acknowledge the letter to mayor and council regarding the air quality. Some very interesting and disturbing information in that report, so hopefully that can prompt us to move towards a solution.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to receiving that May 15th report that it was apparently mentioned
Yeah.
by the ADM. Anything else from the reading file? Or any further comments on that, Councillor? Yeah, I really enjoyed the comments forwarded from Northern Health as well on the non-medical cannabis, and some decent points in there to consider. Administrative reports. Oh, I'll just sort of go back to the air quality. I am looking forward to working with the province on this file. And we have an upcoming meeting with the Ministry of Environment.
Yes, Your Worship. We have a meeting with Gail Broth from the Ministry of the Environment, and that will take place on June 20th with the Clean Air Task Force.
Thank you. Administrative reports 9.1, the Climate Action Revenue Incentive Program be received for information, and staff be directed to make the report public. Councillor G, Councillor Pearson, any discussion on direction and receipt? No. All in favor? Carried. 9.2, municipal paving, that BA Dawson Blacktop Limited be approved for $123,622.80. Based on the matrix, Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, any comments on paving and the awarding of that contract?
I'll withhold.
Do we have a briefing as to what the target locations might be?
It's in.
Was it? I apologize. I missed that.
That's okay.
I can get it after. Did we have an all in favor there?
No.
All in favor? Carried. 9.3, that municipal insurance request for proposals, that council direct staff to enter in an agreement with Capri Colon for a 3-year term with the option to renew for a further 2, and that we direct staff to include a clause that if costs are more than 10% year to year, staff may approach other brokers. And 3, we direct staff to review the suggested areas of improvement by Laura Langley and work with Capri Colon to incorporate into the municipal insurance. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, any discussion on municipal insurance? Who's our Councillor MacLean is our rep there. All in favor? Carried. Item 10.1, Village of Valemount Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 801. The first motion, please, Council, that the following steps be approved for gathering the views of residents in response to a retail cannabis application that will receive public comments in response to a public notice and conduct a public hearing as per sections 465 and 466 of the Local Government Act. What's Council's wish? Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, discussion on that? All in favor? Carried. And that staff's recommended zoning amendment be brought to the next regular meeting of council for first and second readings. Councillor G, Councillor Pearson, any discussion on what will be first and second reading? All in favor? Carried. Council reports, 11.1. Councillor, I wish I had a coin. But I don't. So, Councillor Pearson.
Okay. May 15th, I attended in McBride a presentation by Robson Valley Legacies Project, which is a privately funded housing project being put together there on the former high school property. Very good presentation, some great design work. It was nice to see a few faces from Valemount. Councillor MacLean, myself, Rashmi Narayan, and Dee McEachran from Valemount all attended. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. At this point, looks like it'll be a housing project until they can get everything in place for further care. So Very well done. May 22nd, along with the rest of council, met with MLA Shirley Bond for discussion of what's going on in Valemount in the community. And yesterday, the 27th Historic Society meeting, and that was my 2 weeks. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor G.
I had a pretty light meeting. I wasn't able to meet with Shirley Bond. I was working. But yesterday, Monday the 27th, I attended the tourism industry celebration. Yes, you were there as well. It was a really nice presentation. It was good to see the numbers and to see what tourism brings to Valemount.
So,
Yeah.
I had regional district board meetings and subcommittee meetings on the 16th. MLA Bond, along with the rest of council on the 21st. And joined Councillors MacLean, Pearson, and G at the tourism celebration for Tourism Week. Hashtag BC Tourism Matters. And that was my couple of weeks. Motion please to receive council reports. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G. Any questions of the reports? All in favor? Carried. We have no new business. We are not proceeding to in camera. So I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councillor Pearson. He's very quick.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.